Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Rozaqey, Alvey Syahrey. I'm a student at English Education Department at Islamic State University of Sultan Syarif Qasim Riau. My student identity number is 121104200678. In this video, I'm going to present my thesis proposal. And the title of my thesis proposal is The Effect of Using Task Repetition on Student Speaking Fluency at Junior High School in Kampar, Utara, Regency. And my supervisor at this thesis proposal is Dr. Nur Aisyah Zulkifli MPD. So for the first point, I'm going to explain about the reason why I take this title for my thesis proposal. So we move to the background of the problem. Speaking is a fundamental skill in English that every student must master alongside listening, reading, and writing. According to Martin, categorizes speaking into two distinct categories, speaking competency and speaking performance. Speaking competency refers to the ability to use language correctly, including grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Speaking performance, on the other hand, encompasses the ability to use language effectively in real-life situations, including speaking fluency. The significance of speaking fluency is highlighted by Hanan 2013, who notes that it is a key factor in determining the success of communication. Curriculum in Indonesia have the learning outcomes that emphasize the significance of speaking fluency, especially for junior high school students. In the Merdeka curriculum, university for the junior high school level in Indonesia, in a learning outcome, it is stated that at the end of phase T, students can use English to interact and exchange ideas by explaining these ideas with clear explanation, with using simple sentence structures and simple verbs. And then Kemendikbud 2012 emphasizes that in the curriculum 2013 includes essential competencies for students encompassing behavior, knowledge, and skills in a learning process. In learning English, the skills here include 4 skills in language mastery, namely listening, reading, writing, and speaking. But the fact is junior high school students in Indonesia face various challenges in achieving the learning outcome for developing speaking fluency. Teachers need to employ specific pedagogical tools in their teaching to address and resolve these challenges and aim to improve student speaking fluency. One of the pedagogical tools to be implemented in order to solve these issues is task repetition. Task repetition refers to the process of having students repeat the same or slightly modified assignments to improve their performance for future tasks leading up to the final assignment. Several studies have investigated the use of task repetition in speaking and found that it can enhance student speaking fluency. The first study by Biget 2001, the second study conducted by Ahmadian and Tafakoli 2011, and then the third study is from Lambert 2017, and the latest study from Hatib and Farahaninia 2020. All of these researchers in their studies state that task repetition can enhance EFL student speaking fluency. But there have been no researchers who have conducted this study in Indonesia, particularly at the junior high school level. Then we move to the next point is about the identification of the problem. Based on the preliminary research at the junior high school, the researcher find that students face difficulties in learning English, especially in speaking fluency. To clear it up, the researcher identified some of students still had fragmented and halting, also known stuttering or stammering in speaking. They still had hesitance, such as they had silent pause, such as repair and repetition in their speak, and students had filler words such as and when speaking. And some of the students use another language term as the gap fillers, such as ke, maksudnya, and then in the speaking performance. And then we move to the next point is about limitation of the problem. Based on the identification of the problem, the researcher needs to narrow down the scope of the research for this study. This research focuses on the effect of task repetition on the English speaking fluency of junior high school level for English second language students. Next, for formulation of the problem, based on the identified limitation of the problem, the researcher formulates several research questions. The first is how is student speaking fluency taught with task repetition at the junior high school. And the second is how is student speaking fluency taught without task repetition at junior high school. And the third is there any significant difference on student speaking fluency taught without and with task repetition at junior high school. Next, the purposes of the research. There are three purposes. The first is to describe the student speaking fluency taught with task repetition at junior high school. The second purpose is to describe the student speaking fluency taught without task repetition at junior high school. And the third is to examine whether there is any significant difference on student speaking fluency taught without and by using task repetition at junior high school. Significance of the research. From theoretically, this research highlights the significance of task repetition in improving speaking fluency for junior high school students, addressing issues like limited vocabulary and speaking anxiety. For practically, this research provides significant insight into teaching strategies that enhance oral communication, guiding future instructional practices and curriculum design. And then we move to the next point, is about definition of the term. The first is about speaking fluency. Speaking fluency is the ability to speak smoothly and effortlessly without unnecessary hesitation or pausing. Speaking fluency in the study refers to the junior high school students' ability to speak English smoothly, effortless, without hesitation and absence of long pause. Next, the second term is task repetition. Task repetition is the repetition of the same or slightly altered task, whether it's the entire or just part of it. In the study, task repetition refers to English learning activities in which students repeatedly perform tasks assigned by the teacher to provide students with additional practice opportunities and preparation for completing the task in a final session. For this study, students engage in speaking tasks. Next, we discuss about theoretical framework. First is about speaking fluency. Experts define speaking fluency as the ability to speak naturally, quickly, and smoothly without excessive pauses or self-correction. According to Harman 2007, highlights speaking fluency is the need to process language in real time. Brown 2003 emphasizes ease, accuracy, and confidence in conveying thoughts. Richards 2009 and Lennon 2011 further describe fluency as the ability to communicate effectively and spontaneously, despite limitation, with minimal errors that hinder understanding. In conclusion, speaking fluency is characterized by fluid, rapid, and accurate language use essential for effective communication. And then task repetition. Task repetition, as defined by Bigat and Samuda 2005, involves repeating the same or slightly modified task. This can include repeating tasks with identical content or exact task repetition or different contents, like procedural task repetition. In the study, we focus on the effect of repeating tasks with the same content. According to Hussein 2017, task repetition involves structured stage. For the first is listening to a story for comprehension, reading for pronunciation, retelling the story with feedback, repeating the process with each story for reinforcement. Teaching English for junior high school using task repetition. The teacher plays the first announcement audio, allowing students to listen, read aloud, and have one student repeat it while explaining new word and providing feedback. The same process is followed with the second announcement. And then students listen the first announcement again, review the text, and retell it, with the teacher correcting mistake afterward. This is repeated for the second announcement, and finally, students perform a third, a retelling of both announcements after further review. We move to the relevant research for this study. The first from Lambert 2017 found that task repetition led to improvements in speaking fluency with faster speaking speed and fewer pauses between clauses, starting from the second repetition of tasks. Hatib and Farahania 2020 in the study found that repeated tasks significantly enhance EFL students' speaking fluency, aligning with similar research. Sen and Irves 2021 conducted a study investigating the effect of task repetition on the oral performance of the child EFL learners. The findings indicate that repeating a task positively influences learners' speaking fluency. We move to operational context. There are two variables here, in the variable x and variable y. The indicators for variable x which means task repetition, is repeated listening, repeated reading aloud, retelling the announcement, feedback and correction, and multiple rounds and retelling. For indicators of variable y is less of hesitation, less of self-correction, and less of repetition same work. We move to the assumption and hypothesis of the research. The assumption is the use of this repetition of students can listen and try out tasks to enhance their speaking fluency. So the researcher believes that there is a significant effect taught by task repetition at junior high school students. And for the hypothesis, for null hypothesis, there is no significant difference of student speaking fluency taught by using task repetition as student as member of 8th grade level at junior high school. And for alternative hypothesis, there is a significant difference of student speaking fluency taught by using task repetition at junior high school student. For the last, we move to the research method. First is research design. The researcher used quantitative research as a quasi-experimental design. The subject of the research is students of 8th grade class at junior high school at Kampar Utara Regency. Location of the research is MTSS Kampung Panjang Kampar Utara Regency. The object of the research is the effect of using task repetition on student speaking fluency at junior high school level. And the sample for this study is 40 of 8th grade students, and the population of the study is 40 of 8th grade students. The time of the research is October to November 2024. I'm sorry. And technique and instrument of collecting the data is speaking performance test and observation checklist. Okay, that's all my presentation of my thesis proposal. Thank you for your attention. I'm sorry for all of my weaknesses. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.